gonna stand and talk to you guys. It's gonna be a little bit different, but let's just roll with it. Destiny is mentally unstable, so we gotta do whatever it is to make her not freak out, okay? You guys know how these monthly wrap-ups are. I'm gonna sit here, talk to you guys about the books that I read this month, talk to you about what I rated them, what I thought about them, etc, etc. Let's get into it. The very first book that I read this month was City of Bones. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. I rated this a 3 stars. Pretty sure I rated it 3 stars. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was very fun. As I was reading it, I was very invested in the characters. I was really liking the storyline. So I was like, okay, so why was it a 3 stars? Because the ending. Because what was that? I'm sorry. Where did we just pull that from? Like, I was genuinely concerned and confused. I was double seeing it. I was concerned and confused. It's a good podcast name. Should that be my podcast name? Concerned and Confused? Tell me if that should be my podcast name. Sorry, getting off on a tangent. The book was going so well. I was really liking the characters. I was really liking the chemistry between the two main characters. And then I was like, oh wow, that ending smacked me in the face for no reason. I'm sorry, this doesn't even add up. Other than that, really liked it. And then I decided, oh, I can finally watch the movie. So don't worry, the ending of this book isn't the only thing that disappointed me. The movie was kind of terrible. Not terrible, that's very harsh. It wasn't terrible. It was just that it was not a lot like the movie, and also the editing of the movie was very weird and off. Like, it was very jumpy, very jump cut, and I was just kind of really confused as to what I was watching, and then it didn't follow the book. I'm one of those annoying people that if the movie/TV show doesn't follow the book very closely, then it makes me so irritated. Because if it's not broken, guess what? Don't fix it. Why are we changing something that's so good? The storyline, great. Don't change it. Don't change the characters. Don't do it. I mean, if you're gonna adapt a book into a movie or TV show, just kind of let's keep it the way it is, because it's popular for a reason, it's loved for a reason. Let's keep it that way. Then I read Indigo Ridge, which I also rated a 3 stars, because while I liked the subplot of this book, which there's like a subplot of mystery, because this is a romance, but there was a subplot of a little mystery, I almost liked the subplot more than I liked their romance. And I think that was the issue, was that I didn't love the characters, and I was more invested in like the mystery that was going on. I cared more about this mystery that didn't involve the characters at all. I mean, it involved Winslow because she is literally the chief of police, but it didn't involve Garrett. So, I mean, it kind of involved him, but my thing is the main focus wasn't on them, and I cared more about the subplot than I did about their romance together. So that was the issue. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. This is the Eden series. It's the first book in the Eden series, which is kind of like a small town romance, takes place in Montana. It is following the Edens, which Garrett in this book, it is his family is the Edens. There's a lot of siblings, so every book is going to follow the sibling, and I think that it is a very enjoyable one. And then I read It Ends With Us, just as a little refresher before It Starts With Us came out, and I made a reading vlog for that, just for the people that didn't want to reread this book before It Starts With Us came out, and I did like a full spoiler thing over there. So if you want to watch that, go watch it. If not, guess what? I'm not going to tell you my thoughts on it because I literally did a whole entire video on it. The only thing that I will say is that this used to be one of my 5-star rated books. I honestly did that video just because I did need a refresher before It Starts With Us, and then also because I really wanted to see if this still was a 5-star read for me. And then I came to find out that this is definitely a 4-star read for me. It is no longer a 5-star read, which is why I am very hesitant about making my official 5-star reads video, because as a lot of people ask for that, I am very fearful, because a lot of those books I haven't read in like a year. You know, your tastes change. I know some of them are definitely still 5 stars, but it's like, are all of them still 5 stars? And the answer may be no. I'm very nervous about that. I do want to film my 5-star reads video, but then I'm like, I just really have to think about if they're all still 5-star reads. Bear with me there. Found out this one was a 4-star because the writing, man, the first time around reading this, I guess I didn't really pay attention to. I'm paying attention to it now, and it's not the best. I still enjoyed the book nonetheless, so it was a 4-star. Was that kind of rhyming, or did I just use the same word? I can't even remember what I said. I finally decided to read the Selection series, which, funny enough, I also made a full spoiler reading vlog for this as well. So I will not be sharing my thoughts on this because I've already shared them enough in that video, and I just don't really like this series that much. I just feel like I missed the mark. If I would have read this in my early teen years, I would have loved it. Myself personally, and my tastes as a 20-year-old, these didn't hit. But I know that 13, 14-year-old Destiny would have loved these. That doesn't mean that if you're 19 or above that you won't like these. I'm just saying for my personal taste, they didn't hit. I rated the Selection a 3 stars, then I rated the Elite 2 stars, and then I rated the 1 star, actually. Okay. It is time to talk about It Starts With Us, but not really, because I also have a whole entire spoiler-free reading vlog and spoiler-free review, as well as a spoiler reading vlog and spoiler review vlog that you guys can watch on my channel if you guys want like my full in-depth thoughts on it. But for right now, I will tell you guys that I did rate this a 2.5 stars. This was one of my more anticipated reads for the year. Definitely disappointed me by a lot, because I was one of those people that when I read It Ends With Us, I didn't need another book. But when she announced it, I was very announced it. Did I just say announced? Isn't that how you say it? Announced. She announced it. Yeah. Why did I feel like I said that wrong? Anyway, sorry. I'm a little whatever. When she announced it, I was very excited. I was looking forward to it. And then if you watch my reading vlog for like the first 50 pages, I was very excited because I felt like it was kind of a little bit of forced excitement, because I was like, okay, this isn't really hitting, but you know, like I can't judge, you know, I can't judge right now. It wasn't it, because I guess I thought that this would just be focusing on like Atlas and Lily, and I feel like there were subplots of other things, which I kind of understood why they were there. I didn't necessarily care about them. Then when we kind of did get Atlas and Lily, I felt like we didn't get enough of them for this to be about Atlas and Lily. The last few pages of this book, I feel like this book went by so slow. Like everything was going by slow, which I was honestly fine with. But then all of a sudden the last 20 pages was like a rocket. Like it was just like out of nowhere. And I was so confused. The epilogue, I couldn't even like it because it felt like it came out of nowhere. That is my thoughts in a few sentences on It Starts With Us. And then I read The Midnight Club for a cute little mystery cozy fall read. Also because I saw that Netflix was doing a little like TV series on this, and I am one of those people that I have to read the book before I can watch the show or movie. That is what I did with this. And can I tell you that personally for me, when I saw the trailer for the TV show, I guess I should have known. It just felt so much different than what this book actually was, because basically this book was just kind of, you kind of follow the characters, but then like all of the characters are telling like stories that don't pertain to them at all, like they're made up. And then all of a sudden at the end, it just got a lot out of nowhere, and I was so confused the whole entire reading experience. I was like, wait, what is going on? And maybe that was the point. But I give it 2.5 stars just because when I'm confused, I feel stupid. You know, that's not the best feeling in the world. 2.5, didn't love it, but entertaining. The stories were pretty good. And then I read Dead Flip, which I rated a 3 stars because this takes place in the 80s/early 90s. It's like a back and forth timeline type of thing. It's about a haunted pinball machine. One of the friends goes missing. Very Stranger Things-esque, which I felt like is why I loved it so much. I loved the atmosphere. If you guys know me, you guys know I love the 80s, everything about the 80s. So I really, really loved the 80s atmosphere about this book. I really liked the characters. I liked the slang. I liked the callback to, you know, media, movies, TV shows, music. Like I really, really loved feeling like I was literally in the 80s with this book, and you can tell it's genuinely someone who lived through that. So it was very, very nice to experience that, and I feel like that's why I rated it 3 stars, just because I had so much fun with this book. Did I really care about the characters? Not a lot, but I had so much fun reading it. Singing I love rock and roll, baby. And then I read The Kiss Curse, which was just kind of like another little atmospheric read, and I rated this a 4 stars because I just love the X-Hex and The Kiss Curse for the month of October, and this cute little witchy town, and they own a little witchy store, and the banter between the two love interests in this book were it was so good. I actually enjoyed this more than the X-Hex. I sat down in Barnes & Noble and literally read this from front to back and had an amazing, just fun time reading it. I'm pretty sure the next book that I read was The Godparent Trap, which I rated a 4 stars. Let me tell you, the first 70 pages, I actually tried to read it earlier on into the month while I was walking on the treadmill and getting my cardio in. I was trying to read this, and I ended up kind of DNFing it, but knowing that I was going to come back to it. It was just that like the first like 70, 80-ish pages of this book were unbearable to me. Not like every page, but it was just like the main guy was very arrogant, and it was not attractive in the slightest. I was pretty much like, oh yeah, this guy is very unbearable. I don't know if I can do this type of thing. And he did a full 180. Like when I picked the book back up, full 180 was done, and I loved the relationship. I loved the banter. It was very, very cute, very fun, very cozy. So I rated it 4 stars. I would definitely recommend this. It's a lot like the movie Life as We Know It with the girl from Grey's Anatomy and the guy from Safe Haven. It is a very good movie. And then I read The Bodyguard, which I had a lot of fun with because usually bodyguard romances, the guy's the bodyguard. This one, the girl's the bodyguard, and I really liked her character because she was a very strong character, always proving people wrong, because like people would look at her and be like, oh yeah, you're a bodyguard. Like what are you gonna do? And she'd be like, like pulling out the moves on people and showing people that she was a force to be reckoned with, physically and just verbally. She was like not gonna take nothing from nobody. Also, she like breaks the fourth wall a little bit, which I always find like really funny in books. The guy is an actor, and I really liked his character as well. His banter, his personality was very bubbly and fun, and I really liked it. She wasn't grumpy, she was just kind of like more serious, and he was more of the bubbly character, which I always like to read. And then I read King of Wrath on my Kindle. I'm very mad because I literally ordered it on Amazon, and it's literally gonna be here probably within the hour, but you know, duty calls. So, but I rated it a 3 stars because the thing about books like that, it is Anna Huang's new release, which I actually didn't even know was out yet. I think is she kind of marketing them as a dark romance? I'm not too sure. The problem with it is that I am somebody who very much needs to be attached to characters. Not that the story needs to be character driven, because I also like just like reading about the characters, kind of having a storyline to go by, but I really want to feel connected to the characters and really care about them. Just with these books, I feel like sometimes I can't connect to the character because there's not like a lot of emotional availability there, but I have connected with characters that don't really have a lot of emotional availability. I just really need to be connected to the characters, and this book just wasn't one of them that I could get very connected, but I still thought it was an entertaining read. Also with dark romances, or kind of romances that follow the structure, is that a lot of the time there's usually a secret that one of them are hiding from the other person that you just know is going to be very altering for their relationship, and there's going to be a third act conflict, which is always in the back of my brain, and it makes it hard for me to root for their relationship when I know there's going to be an inevitable argument slash breakup later on in the book. Those books, they're very telling, so it's very hard for me to really care when I know that that's going to happen. I don't know if that's how it is for other people, but that's how it is for me. And then I read Juniper Hill, which is the second book in the Eden series. There are 3 books and then a novella out right now. I rated this one a 4 stars because I was so much more connected with these characters. Knox, I loved him so much more than I loved Garrett, and I really liked Memphis as well a lot more than I liked Winslow. I just liked this storyline better, and I liked these characters better because Knox is just one of those very like overprotective, not in a toxic way, but just really cares about his family and the people that he cares about. It is a single mom trope. It is a small town romance. That is what made this book a 4 stars. The next book that I read was Until Friday Night. I rated this book a 2 stars. The characters I felt were very immature and cringy at some points. I feel so mean saying that, but it was just like I genuinely was cringing at some points where I was like, oh god. Like, I feel like you can tell that this book is kind of aged in a way. I could definitely tell. I didn't even know what year this was published, but you can tell this book is aged in a way, like what the characters talk like and how they interact. There were just some things that happened in this book that I was like, oh yeah, I definitely don't vibe with that. I also didn't really feel the chemistry between the characters. Again, it just kind of boils back down to I need to connect with the characters to really root for them, and that just ultimately didn't happen in this book. The last book that I read this month was Vicious by LJ Shin. I rated this book a 2 stars as well. Because with this one, I am not somebody that can really read about very toxic people and root for their relationship anyway. And this guy in this book was extremely toxic. Not it. And it didn't really feel like he cared about the main girl at all to me. And I know that some of you guys are like, oh my god, it's literally a book. It's not supposed to be super duper whatever. But I feel like if it's a romance, it's a romance. Bottom line, I feel like the characters really have to have chemistry and care for each other. And I just didn't feel like that with this book. Those are all of the books that I read this month. October was a very weird reading month for me. I feel like my brain is kind of like a filing cabinet, and I feel like HR didn't open up those files for all of these books. Otherwise than that, I hope you guys had a great reading month yourselves. Tell me all down below what you guys read this month, what you guys think of some of the books that I've read, anything really that you want down below. Thank you guys so much again for watching today's video. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff that you guys know how to do, and I will see you guys when I see ya. Peace.